Hey everyone, GreymanX6 here again, and we're finally doing the July-August 2025 pickup video. Yeah, god damn, I am so behind. At least we only have one thing to unbox. As you can see, we got a lot of loose Marvel and DC stuff here, so the only thing in package we have is this old Nintendo Jakks-Pacific figure of Falco Lombardi. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, moving right along, we got Falco Lombardi out of the package. Fox McCloud's right-hand man. Come on, focus. You know, surprising it took me this long to pick up this figure. It's not too expensive on the secondary market if you know where to look. And, well, I've been a big Star Fox fan almost from the beginning. I still got the original cart. I picked this up at a flea market complete when we already had the Saturn and N64 and all that good stuff. But all those bricky polygons moving at 15 frames per second or whatever still blew my little mind back then. And I love the art direction with the Muppet-looking stuff. Oh, I said it before and I said it again, if there had been some Jim Henson-produced Star Fox puppet show a la Thunderbirds, I would have watched the shit out of that. But enough reminiscing. Let's see. Respectable amount of detail. He looks pretty much like his N64 self. You're not going to find, like, deep feather textures like probably he had in the GameCube games, but whatever. He can only move his head side to side. No up and down movement. Can move his waist a lot. Bird is the word. Okay. A lot of movement in the shoulders. Elbow sings up and down, and you got some swivel. You can't move the hands individually, though. Let's see what we got for the... Really don't... Very awkward with the hips. They don't... That one doesn't stick... This one doesn't really move out either. Got ball-jointed hips, it seems, that really don't do anything. And the leg articulation, that's barely past 45 degrees. Forget hitting 90. And you don't get any ankle pivot. They do rock up and down some. So very minimal articulation. But for the price point it initially went for in the target audience, mostly kids, it's not too bad. Articulation is very comparable to Fox McCloud himself. I still have. Yep, they look very good together. And I know there's also Peppy and Slippy. I never got Slippy, and I think I got Peppy somewhere still in the packaging. What we really need, though, is Crystal. Oh, yeah. It reminds me, I never did finish Assault, but I did finish Adventures. I gotta get back to the former sometime soon. Alright, now that that's out of the way, we're moving on to our dearth of Marvel and DC stuff. And we're gonna kick it off with Marvel Legends Blue and Yellow Banshee. This is the Banshee that came from one of those 3 packs for the 60th anniversary of X-Men with the blue and yellow classic costumes. I know there's a version, standalone, in his classic green and yellow from, what was it, the mini-comic wave? But no, I wanted this one. I remember Banshee best in his blue and yellow. And we got this soft goodsy material. It's like the material that was used for Storm's cape for her retro-carded versions. Doesn't really feel the highest quality, which is a bit of a disappointment because... Okay, here's the reason why I remember him best in the blue and yellow. This thing from about 30 years ago. This is the Generation X 5-inch Toy Biz Banshee. And when this came out, I was over the moon. I was like, whoa! Now that's some soft goods. We got this cloth-like material that still looks good all these decades later. Of course, the articulation wasn't much. But, I mean, they were only just starting to have arms that swung in and out, but still, the legs could only go back and forth. But still, this... I was all over this figure as a kid, and you could detach the soft goods with these clips that go behind his knees and on his wrists. Not so much with this, because they're kind of done with these ugly tabs. Many steps forward, a couple back, though. It's definitely the articulation's improved. We got butterfly joints on top of shoulders that swing in and out, bicep cut, pinless double-jointed elbows and knees. Got an ab crunch and a waist swivel. That's kind of outdated now. We're getting used to diaphragms and reverse ab crunches on your Marvel Legends now, but oh well. Ball-jointed hips, swing out, almost perfect split, thigh cut, boob cut even. Double pinless knees with great bend, and it's the old head articulation, but you do get a little bit of tilt, and oh man, look at that face sculpt. Come on. Oh yeah. Hasbro, in the last couple years, they have been absolutely crushing it with the face sculpt. And this screaming head, the rage pouring out of Sean Cassidy. Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to finally indulge my inner child and pick up the updated version of this, but I'm happy I finally did. Okay, moving right along with the rest of our Marvel DC stuff. These are 4 characters I actually already had on display on the shelf. Here's my new versions, and this is what they'll be replacing. Let's start off with the only other Marvel one we got during this time period. We got Emma Frost, the White Queen, and just like Banshee, she's sporting a great face sculpt and great printing tech. But unfortunately, she doesn't really come with what's standard issue for the ladies these days. Then again, double-jointed elbows and a reverse ab crunch really wouldn't have helped her all that much, and she's restricted by this plastic cape. Maybe one day we'll get a Emma Frost with a nice soft goods cape, and you can't really customize this because it's kind of attached. It's part of the astonishing costume, but whatever. Though she doesn't have much use of her arms, at least down below, it's kind of stiff. I might have to heat up these hips. We got ball jointed, we got thighs cut, and yeah. But at least we got pinless, double-jointed knees, and her heels pivot and rock back and forth. And the head isn't too restricted by her hair sculpt, so that's nice. All in all, I'm glad I'm replacing her, what I had before. This is the White Queen from that Hellfire 4-pack. As you can see, there's not as much detail in the face sculpt. It had that generic female face that a lot of the Marvel Legends ladies back then had. And overall, she's too tall. Yes, White Queen is supposed to be 5'10", but still, she's towering over a lot of characters. And this is where our new version having the pinless, oh come on, really, legs really help, because these were just really gummy. So all in all, I'm probably just gonna sell this along with some of the other stuff from the Hellfire Club set, including that box. I'm sure that'll up the value. And she'll be representing Emma Frost on the shelf from now on. Okay, and real quick, I wanted to see if it could reenact this scene from the comics where Tony Stark gets Emma Frost out of Dodge by pulling an Iron Man 3 and using his Model 70 to just get her away from the Sentinels. But as you can see, it doesn't really work. The neck is too long, and because of the hair and whatnot, Emma's head just doesn't really sit on it very well. It looks like her neck's all stretched out. It was a nice thought, but this doesn't really work. Okay, finally we can move right along to our DC stuff. This is the Batgirl that I've had on my shelf representing Barbara Gordon for quite some time. This is from that really cheap for kids Batman Missions line that was almost 6-inch scale. I still have the Harley Quinn, but let's face it, with the limited articulation for this and better options, It was only a matter of time before I decided to upgrade to a better Batgirl, and what did I end up picking? Going further back in time with Mattel to pick up her new 52 outfit. Of all the Batgirl outfits Barbara Gordon's had, this is easily the coolest. Looks like straight out of Arkham Knight or something. The articulation, as you can expect from Mattel back then, really isn't much to write home about. Good moving the shoulders, you get 90 degrees with the elbows. Head articulation is passable. You get this weird diaphragm cut that really doesn't do anything except to wobble a bit. Got the old ugly T-sh crotch. It's not too noticeable here, but the legs are kind of loose. Kind of like Falco Lombardi over there, barely get over 45 degrees for the knees. And not even a wobble for ankle pivot, and the ankles barely go back and forth. But then again, this is just to have Barbara Gordon looking nice and pretty on the shelf. Better options will hopefully come from Mattel, or maybe Mafex when they get to the Hush version of her. But for now, I like her rocking her new 52 look. And now we're going to get to her Justice League buddy, the Flash. This DC Direct one is what I've had for a long time for the Scarlet Speedster. No bicep swivel, hips don't move out, and just lousy articulation all around. You know, the guy who's used to dynamic running poses, but he was good for a while to represent the character, but just like with Batgirl, inevitably I'd upgrade to something a bit more impressive, a bit more mobile. And again, we've got Mattel, but this is the Rebirth version as they approach the end of their initial stint with the DC license. Maybe they'll improve things when they get it back, but for now, alright. Standard shoulder articulation with the DC Universe Classics, even cross your arms some when you get the shoulders up there. Decent movement with the head. Again, no double jointed elbows and you got a pin. And the wrists only swivel around, which is a shame. And the T-crotches come rearing their ugly heads again. A year or so after this, Mattel got away from that, but it was kind of too late for them to improve enough to keep the license. It went to McFarlane. Okay, 90 degrees bend on the knees, and once again, no ankle movement whatsoever besides back and forth, not even a wobble of a pivot. And oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, this Speed Force Lightning effect, you just plug that into the back, and he had two of these things. I couldn't find the other one before I started shooting this, and it goes onto his arms. So yeah, just like with Barbara and her new 52 look, I thought Barry Allen looked absolutely killer with his updated suit in Rebirth. I mean, like the energy lines coming from his insignia, just crisscrossing his entire suit, just pops. And the sculpting for the boots, nice little touches, a little bit of flair to go with the classic look. Again, nothing wrong with the classic look, and this was suitable to represent Barry for a time, but it was high time I upgraded, and hopefully Mattel can improve once they get the license back. Speaking of Mattel, yeah, this is their old standard warsuit Lex Luthor. But at a shop I went up to Georgia to visit back in August, I decided to go ahead and pick up a loose version of his Orange Lantern persona. I don't know if this is going to replace that, but it looked cool. When it comes to figures that are all translucent and shit with see-through plastic, This is one of the better ones. This figure's really showing his age. I mean, look at this ball joint on the torso. Woo, 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 do the Megan 2.0. But it still looks cool, and it recaptures one of those pivotal points in the Blackest Night storyline. And there's a lot of reuse for the. I think it no, I thought it was reused some stuff from this, but the boots, they're completely new. Can I get it to focus to show you? Yeah! So they really didn't reuse much from this version. Still, I don't know which one I'm going to keep on my shelf. Again, Lex Luthor and his big old war suit is another one I hope that Mattel tackles when they finally get the license back in 2027. But for now, I got two good versions of Lex Luthor that I choose from here. Oakley dokley, we're done playing with toys for now, so let's get on to the gaming portion of the pickups. Here we have the first sequel to the original Disgaea, which I happen to have right here. This was the second PS2 game I ever owned, and I played the ever-loving shit out of this. Almost 100 hours of tactical RPG goodness and just some gut-bustingly funny anime-inspired hijinks. I loved it, but it's taken me quite a while to pick up another one. I saw this for 20 bucks at one of the local places around here, and I said, why not? It's got the disc, it's got the instructions and everything. So yeah, like I said, there's the price tag, and these are our two protagonists, I assume. And we get Atona back from the original. That's nice. So yeah, when I finally find time to get to this one, it'll be fun. But then again, who knows when that'll be. I've got to muster a lot of willpower to get to gaming these days, especially long-ass RPGs. I only just got to Dragon Quest II. Yeah, that old chestnut. And I'm not talking about the remake. I'm talking about the ball-bustingly hard NES version. And anyway, other pickup, it was finally time to add another Medal of Honor game to my collection. I only have two other ones, and again, I got them right here. I have the PS1 original, which I also played the shit out of and really enjoyed. Basically, before Halo came and revolutionized first-person shooters on consoles, this was what the PS1 owners were able to hold up high. This was basically GoldenEye for the PS1, essentially, since, of course, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, they were Rare-owned, and PlayStation owners weren't going to get shit back then. And I also have this one, which wasn't as well received. This was kind of the beginning of the end of the Medal of Honor name. This had a lot of jank, even though they had to put it on 2 discs, and I literally remember this had an actual train wreck in the game. I shit you not. Yeah. So anyway, someone I know on a certain Discord I go to was talking about Medal of Honor games. I figured, hey, why not pick this one up? Decided to get the Xbox version because that's what was readily available. Hey, always take another excuse to bust out the OG Xbox again, play a little Halo or Panzer Dragoon Orta again in the meantime. And finally, we've reached the end with what are still, so far, my favorite 2 films of 2025. And here we have number 2, and holy shit. What can I say about Sinners that hasn't already been said? With media critics and general audiences just gushing over this masterpiece. When you get Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan together, you're gonna get pure cinematic gold spun. There's just no way around it. This was just a breath of fresh air. Just a great take on the whole vampire thing. A great period piece. Just excellent cinematography and acting. I can't say enough about it. But the true showstopper this year is this great new slasher comedy, Heart Eyes. Think of it as like Halloween for Valentine's Day. It just bowled me over with the great writing, great direction, just a zippy pace. It was a lot of fun. It defied expectations, and yet I was able to kind of piece things together, even without knowing the history, the people behind its production. So it managed to make me feel kind of smart by doping things out while still delivering some surprises. It's just, I can't say enough good things about this one either. And yes, we're finally going to address the giant pony in the room. At a Goodwill, I found this thing for $3. I said, might as well, because I've seen this go for well over $33 on eBay and stuff. We got Sunset Shimmer. Since Hasbro never deigned to give us a Guardians of Harmony version of her, hell, they didn't even give us a regular rarity to complete the main 6. Why not have this representing her just hanging around?